Welcome to the First Issue Club. We're your weekly comic book podcast. Just like Sue Storm, we love a good read.
You're not going to do yours?
I thought of another one.
Yeah. I'm surprised you didn't jump in there with that.
It's because it's not as good as the other one.
It's still good.
It could use a little
Polish.
polish.
But there's nothing to polish.
The idea's there.
Mine is, just like Daredevil, we love a good Page. Because his girlfriend's name is Karen Page.
Mm-hmm.
Or how about this? How about this? Just like Daredevil, we love caring for pages.
Sure.
Because we care for comic books.
Just like Daredevil.
We should have workshopped this in the Patreon.
Just like Daredevil,
See,
we've watched pages die on the floor of a church.
The next 30 minutes is just us trying to break this.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm Mike,
I'm Greg.
And I'm Vargas.
and we're going to do the same thing we always do. Chat some comic book news, and then talk about some first issues.
Mm-hmm.
We've read a hefty week.
2 weeks.
In the numero uno category. And yeah, we missed an episode last week because we did a
Extra long Patreon.
extra long Patreon. So if you want to see us open up our shipment of around 36 CGC
It was a lot, yeah.
comics, that is up on the Patreon. And I think we put it in our dollar tier.
We put it
so
in the dollar tier,
more
yeah.
people could watch that one if you want.
I might post some photos from the haul in our free community section. So if that is interesting to you, go to patreon.com/firstissueclub. We do have a free community area. So if you don't want to join up, we do have that option. We also have free trials for each tier. It's a 7-day free trial.
Yeah, so you could just watch the CGC one if you were curious and
Mm-hmm.
couldn't get enough last week.
Yeah.
Did we ever release the I love doing our podcast housekeeping on the main episode.
Yep.
Did we ever release just the audio for last week's episode?
Yes.
We did. Okay.
Mhm.
Got it. I feel great.
Good.
Check.
Everything's been checked off. We're in our place as we should be.
Mhm.
Video is recording.
Yeah, we're on the couch today.
Are we going to put this on YouTube?
Yeah.
Okay.
So put your shirt back on.
I take your shirt off again. I am chomping at the bit to talk about Fables.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
So this was the big news. What, last week?
Yeah.
Mhm.
When this happened. So Bill Willmingham, he's got like 6 names in his last name.
Yep.
I think it's Bill Willingham. He shocked the comic book community by releasing, forfeiting, whatever the word is, relinquishing the rights to Fables and all its characters to the public domain.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people were saying that this is like a big and huge thing. I initially also thought that, and then the more I kind of digested it, my thoughts have shifted.
Mhm.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
My immediate reaction was, it would be hilarious if Marvel immediately announced a Fables comic.
Well, all right. So here's the thing,
It's like
right?
Al Ewing's writing Fables
Oh, Barbie.
over at Marvel.
So
Yes.
number one. So let's use your idea
Yeah.
to explore some thoughts that I
experiment.
had.
Yeah.
All right. Number one, first and foremost,
Yeah.
out of the gate, Marvel can't call it Fables.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
That's got to be a copyrighted DC name title,
sure.
right?
Yeah.
Fables has to be copyright. There's
Yeah.
no way it's not.
Okay.
Right? So they'd have to call it.
Fables universe? Can they even just like tag another word onto it?
I would guess that DC would fight that.
Uh-huh.
So you'd have to call it like
What if you put an accent above the E and made it Fables?
Fables.
Fables.
Sure, you could do
All
that.
right.
Yeah, so we're now making Fables universe comic inside the MCU. They're gonna fight Miracle Man. Okay, great.
Yeah.
You can't piggyback off of the original stories.
Yes.
It would have to
DC
be
still owns
Well,
those.
copyright
DC
is still in effect.
Yeah, DC would still own all the past material is copywritten.
Yeah, when we're saying the universe is in the public domain, it means you can play in the world of Fables and create new stuff.
You can
It
take
doesn't mean that
Yeah.
me and Andy couldn't go to the printers and be like, I'm going to print issues 1 through 20 of Fables in a hardbound book and sell it.
Exactly. Yeah, it means that I can take Bigby Wolf
Uh-huh.
from Fables
Yep.
and put him in a comic that I'm calling Andy's Wolf Book
Yep.
for guys.
It doesn't even have to be Fables universe. You can just take one of the characters and use
Yeah.
it in your story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But and that to me is like I guess that's something.
Uh-huh.
That's not nothing,
Right.
but it's not like Marvel can't start printing new
Yeah.
Fables comics.
Right.
Cuz DC still owns the rights to
Okay.
that stuff, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. You can't have like a divergence in the story and like
Yeah.
DC continues to do this sort of Fable story. Marvel takes it from this drop-off point. And
Yeah,
goes another
exactly.
direction. Yeah.
And my guess is that if anybody starts printing new Fables stories and starts selling them for money,
Yeah.
DC's going to take them to court for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, and DC's already come out with a statement of just like, it's not in the public domain. We still own the copyright to Fables.
Yeah.
However, many other comic pros and comic editors have come out and said that's not exactly true.
Right.
Copyright does cover what he has written for DC.
Uh-huh.
It does not cover the characters
Right.
that he has created.
Okay.
So yes, the stories that First Issue Club would write for Fables cannot be directly tied to DC material.
Okay.
So we can't reprint
The
DC books.
The situation it sounds so delicate that it's almost not worth.
It's
Correct.
100% is not worth it.
Correct. It's nowhere even near the like Winnie the Pooh thing,
Yeah.
right? Where
Right.
like Winnie the Pooh's in public domain, but you put him in a red shirt, that's Disney, you're going to get sued.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
You take Winnie the Pooh out of the red shirt, that's public domain,
Make
you're totally
your horror
fine.
movie and you're
yeah,
good.
exactly.
Yes.
What was the movie called?
Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. They're making a sequel.
They're
They're
making,
making
a
a
sequel.
sequel. Christ.
Mhm.
Um,
We should also touch on who
oh, Bill Willingham
Bill is as a person.
is not a good guy. His name is in the news because he did this thing. What isn't in the news is why he's feuding with DC, what led to this
Mhm.
situation. I have not read what the situation is yet. I'm not even going to speculate.
No one knows yet, but there's murmurs that
I mean,
this story goes way deeper than we think.
yeah, and all the stuff that I saw on the internet, so I guess take that with a grain of salt too, but
Mhm.
like he does not have good opinions in my opinion.
No, he's tweeted anti-Palestine, anti-abortion, and anti-woke
Yeah.
rhetoric on his social medias
Yeah.
Yeah.
numerous times.
He's kind of like a what's the Dilbert guy?
Douglas,
Yeah,
something Douglas.
Douglas Adams.
No,
No,
Douglas
that's
Adams
Hitchhiker's
wrote
Guide to the
Hitchhiker's
Galaxy,
Guide.
yeah.
He's fine. Douglas Adams is great.
Okay, whatever. Adam Douglas. I don't know. It's one of those.
Yeah.
The Dilbert guy is a shithead. Bill Willingham is a similar shithead.
Okay.
Yes.
So I guess whatever. Make
So
Bigby Wolf trans and make him kiss a guy.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. Really
That'd
throw it
be
in
great.
his face.
Because I think the speculation is that he said he was fed up with DC.
Yeah.
And I think people are speculating is because DC's making an effort to do a lot of
That's my speculation.
yeah
He probably thinks DC is woke.
is too inclusive.
Yeah. And so he's like, well, fuck you. I'm going to do this thing. And
Yeah.
DC's like, you can do that, but like,
Yeah.
that doesn't affect us at all.
We'll sue you and whoever into
Yeah.
oblivion.
It-
and it sucks because you want it to be this punk rock thing of just like,
Yeah.
fuck yeah, this creator's just like, you know what? I'm done with my stories. I want to hear your stories.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, Alan Moore was basically like, I'm not interested in DC's money anymore
Mhm.
Correct.
and was just so fed up with the whole thing. He was like, I tell you what, I don't want to receive any correspondence from you anymore.
Yeah.
Take my checks and send them to Black Lives Matter.
Yeah.
Whoo,
Isn't that
shit.
rad?
Uh-huh.
That's incredible.
And his name isn't on any of the
Yeah.
stuff.
They
Even
take all his royalties and send them right to Black Lives Matter.
even the Marvel reprints of Miracle Man are credited to the original author. They are not credited to Alan Moore.
Man.
That's a badass move.
Yeah.
Alan Moore fucking rules.
He's he's my second favorite comic book wizard.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Have you guys
With
ever
a beard.
seen
Yeah.
that video of him like walking through a greenhouse, like talking about his?
Jesus Christ.
No.
You haven't?
No.
There's like a video of him like talking about Swamp Thing while he's like walking through a misty greenhouse, and it's all like artfully done, and you just see him like kind of behind some leaves, like staring at you, and they zoom in on him. It's very bizarre.
I desperately want to buy that masterclass that he did.
Oh.
The one
I know
about
he
writing.
did one. Yeah.
But it's like $150 or
Those are
something.
expensive. Yeah.
But I just want to hear him talk about
Mhm.
his wild
and-
process.
Mhm.
Just ramble on.
For anybody who doesn't know, Alan Moore worships a pagan snake god. That is not a lie. I'm not making that up. That is a thing that he does.
And
Sorry,
that's the
I'm
least
laughing.
weird thing
Yeah.
about
Yeah,
him.
maybe I shouldn't be. I don't know how much of that is like put on, or if he's like
No,
that's
he
like
did-
his thing.
yeah.
Okay, so sorry I laughed.
him and Grant Morrison both are total wackadoo weirdos, and
Yeah.
I love them.
Yeah.
For a long time, I have wanted to do. I don't know how I would do it, but one of the things that I've always wanted to do is either watch or create a video or podcast series
Mhm.
about the real life interactions that Constantine writers have had with the character,
Okay.
because there are like 4 or 5 different writers that have all written for Constantine or Hellblazer over
Yeah.
the years that have all sworn up and down that they have met the character in real life.
Oh, that's interesting.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
So like you can look up the stories online, but like Alan Moore is one of them. He's like, I created this character. I met him in a bar one time after I created him. And then like Jamie DeFalco or whoever like
Manifested him into the real world.
Yeah.
like somebody else was like, I definitely saw him on the street one time.
This
and
is
we
like-
made
like-
eye contact.
Hello, Alan.
I don't,
Yeah.
Alan.
it reminds me of the concept for
Marty.
crossover,
Yeah.
Yes.
where it's just like characters seeping into the
Real
the
world.
world. Yeah.
Yeah.
But if there was one
It's
character,
a fun idea for a story.
if there was one character that like would be the person,
That'd be a cool one. Yeah,
It's
it like makes sense.
Constantine.
He's
Yeah,
like
exactly.
going through realms and
Yeah.
things, and is kind of
like even more so than Doctor Strange, I think.
Yeah.
You know that.
he's a cool character.
Yeah. So, if anybody out there, whatever, if you've got some sort of a thing that goes over that, the real life interactions with Constantine, I would love to see it. But
I have a question about smoking. John Constantine is like a chain smoker, right?
yeah,
And he looks so cool.
Yes.
But is smoking cool anymore? Does smoking make people look cool anymore?
I think it's seen as not cool anymore.
Yeah.
The truth ads have won out.
The truth ads have won. Is it
it's
just
cooler
because
than vaping.
is
though,
it just
right?
because
I agree to that.
is it because I'm an elder millennial
Mm-hmm.
that I'm like, man, John Constantine looks so cool, and he's just like puffing on a cigarette.
I'm the same way. I used to be a smoker like
Yeah.
so many years ago.
I think it's all in the way you smoke.
Uh-huh.
Like if you're the guy who's got like a cigarette dangling off your lips while you're like doing other things, you look like a redneck.
Yeah.
But if you're James Bond sitting at the Baccarat table,
Yes.
you look cool as shit, right?
Yes.
Maybe it's about where are you smoking?
Yeah. Because
How are you
I
smoking?
don't think James Bond is smoking in his Aston Martin.
Right.
Like it's definitely just like another piece to his ensemble.
Yeah.
The cigarette at the roulette table or
Yeah.
whatever.
But or like at the end of the Escape movies when Snake Plissken pulls out that American Spirit cigarette, I will never not stand up and applaud because that's cool as shit.
Yeah.
I knew a gal who was like 5 feet tall, teeny tiny, looked like a little kid, and worked at an Urban Outfitters in Chicago. And Dennis Rodman came in one time, and he was smoking one of those like ridiculously sized cigars.
Sure.
I mean, he's like a huge person because he played in the NBA, so he can get away with those like Arnold Schwarzenegger sized cigars
Yeah.
anyway. It's
And
like,
it feels normal size
it's like
to him.
proportionate to him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a cigarette for him.
So he walks into that, and my friend Carrie is like, Dennis Rodman, you cannot smoke in here.
Hell yeah.
And he's like, man, whatever, and just like walks right past her into the store, and he's just like, I fucking own Chicago.
What an
like,
asshole.
Try to come after me, and she said she like everyone around just kind of got a kick out of it and was like, I guess he's smoking a massive cigar inside. Like what am I gonna do?
What an asshole, though.
Yeah, it is kind of an asshole move.
Because if he was any other person, they would have been like, no, get the fuck out of the store.
Totally.
Yeah.
I would have kicked it.
If it happened to me when I worked retail, I would have been like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, I
Like,
would have
fuck
too.
you.
For sure.
I don't know.
I would have not if it was Dennis. If it was Dennis Rodman, I would have been starstruck,
Yes.
and I would have just been like, okay.
No, man, fuck that.
But if it was any other person, I would be like, no,
If
I'm calling
working a
security.
Store and
You're
Alan Moore
out of
comes
here.
in smoking a cigarette. I'm like, smoke him if you got him, Alan.
Yeah, John Constantine comes in. What are you gonna do, Andy? You gonna kick him out of?
I'm
Urban
going to be
Outfitters?
like, man, you can't smoke in here, but let's go talk outside.
Yeah, like you and I can smoke outside, big guy.
Fuck that. I'll call the cops on anybody. I don't give a fuck, especially if I'm working retail.
Yeah, right. God, working retail fucking sucks.
It does.
I used to work overnights at a hotel, and
Oh, was that bad?
oh, dude, I had 911 dialed at all times.
Yeah,
I was waiting for somebody to do some shit.
yeah.
We should talk about comics, though.
Yeah, so some other fun things that have come out. Rick Remender signs a 3-year exclusivity deal with Image Comics.
Hell
Oh
yeah.
wow, okay.
So he said that he turned down some very generous offers to write X-Men and Batman, but he said he wanted to work on some indie stuff.
Wow,
Dude.
Which is
X-Men and Batman.
is crazy.
When was he asked to do X-Men and Batman?
Either
Recently,
You
apparently.
think
Yeah.
like you think he was like
before
a
Chip,
choice before Chip Zdarsky?
or maybe Chip's wrapping up and they're like, hey, maybe do you want to...
I mean,
Yeah.
the X-Men thing makes sense.
Yeah, X-Men's
Yeah.
needs a like.
Which we should probably talk about that after this.
Okay, yeah. Or do we want to stay on this for a little bit?
Yeah, it's either...
Sacrificers is cool. That's his book going on in Image right now.
Yeah.
And I really like it.
I just think it's a smart move for Remender. His Image stuff and his indie stuff
Kicks ass.
totally eclipses, and I don't mean that as hyperbole, his like main 2 stuff.
Well, and I think his big 2 books are
awesome. They're
Yeah.
incredible.
Yeah.
but
We
You're-
talk about one of them on the
you're
Patreon.
right.
Yeah.
He does great original stories,
hmm
and I've got 2 massive hardbacks of Low right over there. But yeah, he kicks ass at his creator on stuff.
Well, it just seems like once those creative minds get signed to those contracts, either Marvel or DC. I mean, look at James Tynion. Like, he left DC for Substack because like the creativity, I feel like, is just kind of held into like a tiny little box that the main 2 want you to stay in.
yeah,
Well, and I'm sure when you're somebody like that, you're like, oh, what if we sent the X-Men into space? And everyone at Marvel is like, oh, you mean like when this person wrote it and this person wrote it and this person wrote it and this person wrote it? And you're like,
Or
well, fuck. There's no more original ideas.
well, not even that, but I'm sure some editor would be like, well, we can't because it doesn't line up with a story we're going to do in a year.
Yeah.
And then I'm sure Rick Remender's just like, so?
Right.
Like, we'll fucking bring him back
Yeah.
then.
So,
But-
okay, so the ship crashes.
Yeah.
Then he's back on Earth. Yeah.
But like that's what I'm talking about. Like those creatives are like beholden to like stories that are already written that they weren't privy to.
Yeah.
So I think it's a good thing to sign a exclusivity deal
Totally.
with Image Comics for the next 3 years. So good job, Rick.
Rick, more Fear Agent, please.
congrats.
Yes, please more Fear Agent. On to the fall of X.
Yeah, so they're doing another House and Powers that Jerry Duggan is writing one of them.
Yes.
Mhm.
And then who's writing the other one? I can't remember.
I do not remember because I did not recognize them.
I know R.B. Silva is doing art for one of them, and he did the
Correct.
Powers book
Correct.
first time around. But kind of my hope, even though it's like, love X-Men, I'm loving all the tie-in books and everything, but I'm a little like, it would be nice to tie a bow on the Krakoan era of X-Men
Mm-hmm.
and let me take an X breather.
An X break.
I think a lot of fans need an X-Men break.
Mm-hmm.
Just because they've thrown so much at us over the last 5 years. And it's been a great ride, but
Yeah.
like,
A lot of volume.
yeah, a lot of volume. And I think collectively, at least a lot of the X people I know are kind of like, I need a bit of a breather from all the
I'm tired.
constant ongoing stuff.
Yeah. I guess I'll say I'm not an X-boy.
Mhm.
I'm very interested in all the X-Men stuff. I read all of House and Powers. I read the first couple issues of...
Oh, Kieran Gillen.
Is it Kieran Gillen?
Yeah.
How did I not know that?
He's
Okay.
been writing Immortal X-Men,
Yeah.
which is one of the best X books right now.
Yeah, and it's what, Fall of House of X and Rise of Powers of X?
Yeah.
Powers of 10.
Yeah, Powers of 10. Thank you. Yeah, so like I was excited about the X-Men stuff, but the volume totally killed me.
Yeah.
Like when they
Right.
started releasing like 6-7 books a week that were
Yeah.
all in the X universe, it's too much. It's
I-
way too much.
I think it would be cool to do like a big epic conclusion to this thing and start up with a new X-Men team that's got your mostly is just your classic characters, and they're like beating up Sentinels and Omega Red,
Yeah.
and they just
Yeah.
have some like fun adventures out the gate that aren't like world politics. As much as I was like a stan for like, man, I love all the political shit and like when they did that medical company
X-Corp.
X-Corp.
was
Yeah.
like the pharma company book that was a tie-in, and I was
So
like,
cool.
it's so cool that they're doing this, and we're looking at like the business side, and there's like espionage in the business world. I thought that was rad.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I just need a little more of like a dumb, straightforward X-Men for a minute, and
Yeah.
and that's just in like one book and is a fun adventure I can follow. And if you're gonna do a couple other X books, make them things that aren't integral to the other stories.
Right.
Like, yeah,
Yeah.
keep doing your New Mutants
In your X-Force
and
all
your
that.
X-Force books, but like, I don't want to have to read every single one of these
Yeah.
to understand the like politics of Krakoa and the relationship with the world at large.
I liked the era where they had X-Men Gold and X-Men Blue
Yeah.
as
Yeah.
separate books,
Yeah.
and they were separate teams, and they each did their own thing.
Yeah.
So if you had your favorite X-Men,
Yeah.
you can follow one team and not the other.
Yeah. Well, and the way I did it was I bought the first issue and I was like, oh, this story is more intriguing than the other one.
Mhm.
I'm just going to keep up with that.
Did any of us cover Jean Grey #1?
No.
I didn't.
That was fucking rad.
Was it?
Yes.
Was it after the Hellfire Gala?
No, well, it kind of takes place out of time a little bit. It's when the young X-Men who get brought forward in time
Mm-hmm.
get sent back to
Their time frame?
their timeline,
Mm-hmm.
and then is like, what do they do with that? And they're supposed to like, Jean's supposed to like mind wipe them all, and then they're just supposed to start over again like they don't know any of the events of the future.
Mm-hmm.
But she talks everybody into like, we can make so much of a change and a difference if we keep the knowledge about what's going to happen in the future and prevent some of these awful things.
Yeah.
And then she gets power hungry, and it gets like kind of dark. Like she becomes almost like a new Brotherhood of Evil Mutants Magneto philosophy type. It's written really well, and I want to say like Ann Nocenti or someone like that wrote it.
Okay.
Louise Simonson. It was like
Yeah.
someone like that wrote it, and I thought it was so cool because I loved the blue and gold era X-Men was kind of around the time I think that we were
Mm-hmm.
playing with those young Cyclops in
Yeah.
the Champions,
Yeah.
and young Jean with that other X-Men team, and
Mhm.
I just loved the idea.
Yeah.
It read like a fun what if book that was just
Right.
like wild. Yeah.
But it's funny to me, but like if you weren't reading comics at that time, you'll see
Yeah.
young Cyclops in with Miss Marvel. You're
Yeah.
like, what the hell
Yeah, right.
is going on in this book?
Yeah, that was confusing. When they, as much as I loved the Young X-Men being a part of the storyline,
Mhm.
I get why they had to just be like, you know what, we've got to call it at some point
Yeah.
on these things.
Yeah.
Even though they've kind of become their own characters in their own right now.
Well, you get painted into a corner after
Yeah.
a while. You're like, they've been apart from their timelines so
X-Men
long now.
is already so confusing as it is.
Yeah.
To have two of every famous character.
hmm
Yeah, for sure.
Big X-Men, big Cyclops and little
It's just-
Cyclops.
Yeah, there's like no way to onboard into it. And that's another thing I think that I think people are going to have to look forward to after we learn what's up with this NYCC Hawks and Pox panel.
Man, so many panels at NYCC are going to be banging.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to. We thought about going, but it was too close to when my wife's a school teacher,
Mhm.
and she was like, "I don't want to start the school year for like 3 weeks and then ask to go on vacation for a week." So we picked LA Comic-Con instead.
Yeah.
And LA Comic-Con, while it like draws a lot of really great names, it's not one of those cons that's like Marvel's going to do a massive booth and bring
Yeah.
out like all the new writers who are writing all the new things.
Yep.
It's kind of like they pick San Diego, Chicago, or New York
Mhm.
and do that stuff. LA's kind of like and also this one in California, but it's still like massive.
You'll have fun.
Yeah,
It'll
it'll
be
be
dope.
like the size of like a big raging C2E2.
Yeah.
Yeah. That'd be
So,
sick.
I'm ready for it. And there's going to be, I stay in the Midwest normally, so for cons,
Mhm.
and there's just going to be a lot of new creators that like never come to the Midwest.
Yeah, for sure.
So that'll be rad. You want to do first issues? Any other
Yeah.
I don't have any other
takes?
hot
Any
news.
other takes in the
I don't
queue?
think we have any
Oh,
news.
You know what's funny? Here's a piece of news that I read. I think like a week or two ago on the podcast, Magic Order came up, or this might have been on the Patreon because we were
Yeah.
talking about Malarverse stuff.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I was like, Magic Order was one of the like the Malarverse kind of lost a little steam, I think, because they printed like 1 billion of Magic Order. They had that whole kerfuffle at the con where they printed all these like free copies,
Mhm.
but it was too mature, and they were like, "Do we give these away?"
Yeah.
So there was just like 100,000 of them sitting around, and then Netflix had done like 2 shows
Mhm.
that were very similar to the Magic Order, or had like almost the same title,
Yeah.
and people were just like, "Okay, they're never gonna make a Magic Order show." I just read this week,
Yeah.
they're doing a Magic Order show.
Yep.
And that first issue was kind of like popping up
Yeah.
on stuff. And I will say, buyer beware. Like,
There's 1,000 of these.
there's so many copies of Magic Order out there. Like, don't spend more than like 10-ish bucks after shipping.
Don't
on one
even
of
do
these.
that. Oh my god, dude. Go hunt your dollar bins. Magic Order is in there,
Yeah.
I promise you.
Yeah.
Somewhere
So
deep down in there.
the comic world is filthy with this comic. Everyone I know at the time that was reading comics bought it because it was the first big Netflix deal, Malar World
Mhm.
comic. And I really liked the first series. I kind of fell off on Magic Order 2, 3. I think it's on 4 now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So maybe I need to buy like a collected hardback or something and amp myself up for the show. But I loved the first
Yeah, the first
series.
one was awesome.
I'm just still surprised we haven't seen anything from the Malarverse on Netflix.
Well,
yet.
it's because Jupiter's Legacy crapped so hard.
Yeah.
That was going to be the first big swing,
hmm
and then it fell through the floor.
And last week, my take on that and the Patreon was, I think people were primed for the boys type stuff, and
Yeah.
anything that wasn't that, people were just going to be like, another superhero thing. Like, I want like a really
Mhm.
wildly different take on it, like the boys.
Yeah.
So,
And the boys, it was not.
yeah.
All right, let's get into the first issues. of
Dope.
This and last week.
You want me to go first?
Go for
You're
it.
both looking at me.
You go for it.
We're all looking at each other, Andy.
Yes.
It's true. With hearts in our eyes. I read a lot of stuff this week.
Yep.
I'll rapid fire them, and then we can get in details. I read Captain America 1. I read Rumpus Room. I read Predator versus Wolverine. And I read Batman Gargoyle of Gotham.
Bum, bum, bum. Batman Day.
I'll do that one first. So this is Raphael Grandpa writing and doing the art, and it is as good as you want it to be. I mean, we don't even need to talk about the art because we know it's a slam dunk every page, right?
Google it.
He does
Google
his
him.
own font in here too.
Oh, cool.
That like
is it all hand lettered or he does
some
his
of
own?
it in the brown boxes, like it's got his own flair to it.
Yeah, it looks like his strokes.
So this book is totally sick. It does introduce a new villain.
Okay.
I think his name is Crytoon.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Interesting name.
Yeah. Well, it's based on an in-universe cartoon character that he bases his serial killings off of.
Oh, that's
called
funny.
Crytoon. But there's a big stinger at the end of issue 1. Have you guys read it?
No,
No.
you can tell me though.
It's so
Spoiler
good.
ahoy.
Okay, spoiler alert. Give me a second here. But so you find out Gordon's going through and trying to figure out who the identity of the serial killer is, blah, blah, blah. You find out that Bruce Wayne was an inmate at Arkham Asylum
What?
after his parents got murdered. He
Whoa.
got sent to Arkham.
Okay, yeah.
So Bruce Wayne's going to show up as, maybe he's the murderer, but obviously he's not because he's Batman.
Yes.
But it gives you a little bit of that psychological background because throughout this whole book, Batman has told Alfred that he's going to kill Bruce Wayne. He's publicly so that he can be Batman full time.
Yeah.
And there's a panel where he's like, "Don't call me Bruce. Get used to calling me Batman."
Mm-hmm.
And Alfred's
wow.
"I'm not going to let that happen."
He's completely disassociating from his Bruce identity.
Yeah, he's I'm no longer Bruce Wayne. I'm Batman. That's who the city needs me to be.
Mm-hmm.
My whole life has been, Bruce Wayne is the mask. This is my identity.
Yeah.
And so then that stinger comes at the end.
Yeah.
And it's oh shit, this is another level.
And this probably needs to be said. This is a Black Label book,
So it is Elseworld.
So it's not continuity mainline DC.
Yeah.
Correct. Yeah, this does not tie in to Zdarsky's Batman.
But if it did, holy shit, that'd be hilarious.
That's the cool part is this definitely has a feel of a Dark Knight Returns, where it's or a Man Who Laughs, the Joker thing, right?
Yeah.
Where it's it's an Elseworlds thing, but people are going to be coming back to this universe in 15 years because it's going to be one of those stories.
Yeah.
If he can nail the ending in these last 3 issues, this is a stone cold classic.
And with the Black Label stuff, it's more of a logical trajectory for the characters that are created.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If a orphaned billionaire would likely go through these steps if he decided to be a masked vigilante.
Yeah.
He would get to the point of disassociation of just I'm going to kill my public persona because it's so much easier just to be one or the other.
Yeah.
And I would much like to be Batman instead.
Yeah.
So that's what I really appreciate about the Black Label books. It's just how the characters would probably progress through their journey in these lives they've chosen.
Yeah.
Have you guys? So we talked about some Elseworld Batman since it was Batman Day recently.
Yeah.
Have you guys been keeping up with mainline Batman and did you read Batman Catwoman 1?
Yeah.
We didn't cover that.
Mm-mm.
Yeah. Tom King's Batman Catwoman, or the one that just the Gotham War
the
one.
new one, the Gotham War one.
Yeah, I
the
read
one that
that,
Teeny Howard and Chip Zdarsky
Yes.
wrote
Yes.
together.
Yeah.
I think I covered that one.
Yeah, we covered it on the episode you were gone on.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's why I don't remember
Yeah.
it. I thought that was
It's killer.
awesome.
Yeah.
And it's great to see that stuff in the Chip Zdarsky's Batman book, and then it branches out into Teenie Howard's Catwoman book, obviously.
Yep.
But then I also read the Batman and Robin first issue, which almost seems like it exists in the same world and gives you a continuity Batman story that's a little bit of a reprieve from how like dark and twisted the Batman and Catwoman arc is.
Yeah, so Batman and Robin was a book that came out last week.
Yeah.
And I liked that they used the Gotham War stuff as like a springboard.
Yes.
To have Batman and Robin
living together in the brownstone.
They're living together. They're doing their own thing together.
Yes.
Because they're basically on a team against the rest of the Bat family in this Gotham War thing.
Yep.
I really liked that. Yeah.
I thought that was awesome.
Yeah.
And I think you can have fun with that comic, and tonally it seems like you might be able to get away with reading that and not be so dialed into the Zur-En-Arr stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Which I love. Like when he introduced that concept with his first Batman issue, Chip Zdarsky I'm talking about, it was cool.
Yeah.
And then we did the whole failsafe arc, and I just love the way they found out to give an opportunity for Zur-En-Arr to take over, and you can slowly see it happening here. And I think by the end of this Batman Catwoman arc, that's going to start that new arc with.
I know. I
almost wonder if he's going to change his outfit to like the purple and red.
Well, I think Zur-En-Arr is going to end up being like one of the major villains of Chip Zdarsky's run.
Yeah.
Like,
right.
I think it's going to be like a split personality thing where like Batman can't go to sleep,
Bruce
or
Wayne
else
disappears for a while.
Oh, yeah.
Like he can't go to sleep, or else Zur-En-Arr shows up and like starts fucking up his life.
I'm so stoked for this arc.
Well, and anytime you bring back like to pull a Grant Morrison and bring in a Grant Morrison concept, you know, like from 20 years ago, like I love it. I love it so
cool.
much.
So cool. I'm so stoked on that.
Yeah.
So that was our Batman minute.
Yeah.
For Batman Day.
That was a Batman 2-minute, but that's fine. I read
Sorry.
I read Wonder Woman #1 by Tom King and Daniel Sampier. The gist of that book is like a rogue Amazonian that we're led to believe commits a murder on U.S. soil.
Yeah.
So the U.S. Congress creates like this Amazonian act that like no Amazon can step on American soil, or else they would be like treated as a terrorist or whatever. And so Wonder Woman is now, so like all the Amazons that are living in America are like kicked out and sent back to where they came from.
Themyscira.
I can never...
Like I'm not going to try to say it.
Yeah, not even going to try.
Good thing this is like a totally made up thing that doesn't sound like anything that's happening.
The Congress would never do this in real life.
And so this is very Tom King. It's like he loves the like political thriller sort of stuff.
Well, he was a Fed.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. It's so cool.
Yeah. Love when a Fed gets into the comic industry and really spills the tea.
Can I Tom King side note? Is anyone still reading Danger Street?
I'm a couple issues behind.
Oh my god.
It's so fun though, right?
There's let me just say I think it's Danger Street issue 9. There's an entire issue that's like a back and forth between sword fighters.
Cool.
And it's like takes place on the roof of a building. It is like an amazing issue, and it is so just like Tom King brilliance, and you see him just like they're like two hyper intellectual characters, so you get to see him kind of flexing his like, you know, morality play and these like concepts that are really fun to play with in like a the ethics of like a sword battle and stuff. And
cool.
It was such an awesome issue. I think if you're like a Tom King fan and you even fell off of Danger Street, I would still say I'm pretty sure it's issue 9.
Yeah.
And I would say just pick that issue up and you could read it as like a standalone issue. I think it might be like a Tom King classic. It was like such a great issue.
Oh, okay. Slab it.
Got ourselves a Tom King classic on our hands.
TKC.
Now, while there isn't any sword fighting in Wonder Woman #1, there is a fight in the cemetery, which is just pretty sweet.
Okay.
And I want to say, I forget the guy's name. There's not a Sergeant Slaughter in DC Comics, is there?
He was the wrestler.
Or, I mean, not. I know, but like, there's a Sergeant someone. I'm spacing on the name right now.
Sergeant Rock?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And
Sergeant
so-
from like the 80s?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's dope. Does he show up?
Yeah.
That's sick.
This is another like Tom King, Washington D.C. based characters.
And he has like a metal hand that
Whoa.
that is like a gun.
Uh-huh.
Like, because he's like talking to these people in this restaurant, and he gets this text, and he's just like, dang it, like this between us was gonna go on for like a month or so, but like I have to cut this short, so sorry guys. And he goes boom boom, like from his hand, like shoots him. And then like everyone's freaking out in the restaurant, and he goes to like the maitre d', and he's just like, here's a card, the police are gonna ask about it, just give them this and they'll know what to do. And then he just
Whoa.
leaves.
Yeah.
But he's kicking the Amazonians out of
He's on the hunt
America.
for Amazonians.
yeah, so he's
That's
like,
so dope.
so he's with like the government. But like that little exchange there, I was just like, holy shit, this is gonna be a great book. But
Well, and for it to be Sergeant Rock is cool.
yeah,
Like,
yeah. But
I
like
think that's cool.
it's incredible, and the idea that like Wonder Woman's now an outlaw because she is kind of, in this place of just like, I need to figure out who this quote unquote Amazonian that committed this murder is, and then to do that, I have to break this law. Sorry, but like now I'm an outlaw, and so it's just gonna follow that throughout the series, and
Do we know who the Amazonian is?
No.
Okay. So that's kind of like our mystery.
mhm.
And then even though Sergeant Rock is like fighting for America, he's like our jingoistic, is that the right word?
Yeah. America first.
Yeah, like kind of like villain.
Well, he's the Iron Man to Wonder Woman's Captain America,
America.
in
Yeah.
this DC Civil War.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they have Rock and Wonder Woman have this exchange in the cemetery where he tries to throw a punch at her, and she just grabs his metal hand and crushes it. And it's
Hell
just
yeah.
like, fuck yes, like this is about to be popping off in this motherfucker.
I'm stoked for this. I bought I think I might have gotten all the regular priced covers for Wonder Woman 1 just because they were all so cool.
I almost bought the foil one, but it was like $10.
Yeah, I didn't get that one. I don't think Chris Bacalo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was dope, but
It was cool. You know what? I did Google it, and the real pictures of it don't look as good as the like listing pictures of it.
correct.
Like I don't know if it's because cameras don't pick up the foil very well,
Well,
or if it's because the art just didn't translate well to like the foil cover.
it's not a very colorful cover.
Yeah,
Which
and so
doesn't
it just
do well
looks
for
like silver
foiling.
and black, and it kind of disappears on it.
Yeah.
But I mean, the art looks great.
And the concept is like Wonder Woman jumping into a crowd of like
Yes.
SWAT guys.
Yes.
It looks dope.
Yeah, it's a very cool. It's a very striking image.
Yeah.
But
If they would have had a
Maybe not the
non-foil
bec-
cover,
maybe
I would
not
have gotten it
yeah, maybe not the best pick for a foil.
for sure.
Oh, and I guess like a new concept is introduced in this book where Wonder Woman has the lasso of truth, right? And I don't know if this is a previous Wonder Woman thing, so if it is and you're a Wonder Woman person, I'm sorry for
Oh.
retreading this.
This is a great conversation. What other lassos do we want?
There's a lasso of lies at the
Yeah.
end of this book.
Dope.
Like it's all black.
First appearance, lasso of lies.
It's all black and
Slap it.
glowing, and it's like it belongs to this group called the Sovereign,
Uh-huh.
and like it's a lasso of lies. So it's just like that blows it.
It makes you lie?
Or like it makes your lies truths, or like people believe your lies or something. I don't know.
Whoa.
We're gonna find out. But
No, they whip you up in it and they're like, how strong are you? I'm super, super strong. You just have to
Very strong.
lie.
Nope, no, you're not. So I thought that was rad. Very interesting book. A lot of commentary about, things that are happening in this country
Like what?
every day, like people being kicked out for where they were born and who they are as people.
Why would they want to leave America,
Yeah,
the
let's
greatest
get-
country in the world?
Yeah, let's get into that.
They weren't leave. They don't want to leave. That's the problem.
Oh,
Greg, speak on that.
They're being told to leave. Well, if I could, while I'm talking into a microphone and staring into a camera, let's get political. Andy and I read, was it the Uncanny Spider-Man
yeah.
yeah.
with that's
Kurt
by
Wagner.
Cy Spurrier and Lee Garbett. I brought this up to Andy the moment I got into the studio today, and we both instantly smiled and said, "This book was a lot of fun."
Super fun.
The whole thing that I loved about this book was Kurt, kind of still wanting to help people as he is wont to do. He reaches out to Peter Parker and gets a spare Spider-Man suit, and is basically just like moonlighting as another Spider persona.
Yep.
But to see
All the X-Men that are in hiding are in New York, kind of in the old Morlock sewer tunnels.
Yeah.
Yes, because of the Hellfire Gala.
Yes.
2023, everyone was forced to leave.
Yep.
Because
So it just makes sense
Sinister,
that it's fun to have some of those characters shacking up with other New York heroes during this thing.
Yeah. But the thing that was so cute about it was Kurt is, very much kind of fish out of water in general, but him trying to be like quippy Spider-Man was just kind of like really endearing, and just like he does this joke about, it's like you need to work on your parking, because he threw a car into a park, and instead of just letting it hit, he explains the joke to the criminal for like 4 panels.
Yeah.
It is so funny and endearing, and there's a lot of cool twists in here, and at the end of the book, he saves someone who ends up being Mystique. But
cool.
she
Okay.
she doesn't remember who she is, or like something is up with
so
her.
he sees her like in the park earlier, and she's saying, "Where's my baby? Where's my baby?"
But not as Mystique. She's a different human.
Okay.
And then later in the book, he saves her again, and she like cloaks whatever,
Yeah.
and she's saying, "Where's my baby? Where's my baby?" So presumably, she might be looking for
Him.
Kurt.
Nightcrawler. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which, a quick shout out to Funko Pop, real quick. They have a new Funko coming out of the Goblin Queen
Yeah.
holding a baby, which is Kurt, was thrown off the bridge by Mystique.
Yeah.
Like, of all the wild,
What a niche.
of all the wild Funko Pops to make, Infanticide is apparently available.
We
to make.
we can make our own version of Goblin Mode using only
Yes.
Funko Pops.
Yes. So, anyway, it was really charming.
I'm trying to picture a Goblin Queen Funko Pop.
I have a picture of it.
It looks exactly like what you're picturing.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, here's the
but
thing.
sexier.
It's a very horny character design.
Very
Yeah.
horny Funko Pop.
The idea
Yeah.
of making a Funko
It's
Pop
lubricated.
that's like dressed like that,
Yeah,
like
it's
kind
like
of,
fully tits out.
kind of like breaks my mind. Like it's a toy. Why would you make that character a toy?
Well, they've toned it down a touch.
yeah, a lot.
So they
Yep.
gave her pants.
Yes.
Number one.
Yep.
Which this is my first problem with it.
God.
And well, I should say this is from X-Men '97, which is the new animated series that's coming out on Netflix or Disney Plus. Wow.
Okay, this is the character design from X-Men '97.
Yes.
Okay, that makes got
Yeah.
it.
So anyway,
How
go.
funny.
I was gonna say go pick up the book, but I don't care if you do. It's a fun book. I just have been kind of swept up in the Hellfire Fallout stuff, and to see kind of that stuff play out and what the rogue X-Men are doing has been really enjoyable for me.
And he's got Nightcrawler's been a character that's popped into Amazing Spider-Man a couple times during like the first 200 issues, so he's been in and out, and they've got fun banter and sensibilities that kind of match.
Yes.
Nightcrawler is far and away my favorite mutant So anytime
Really?
Wow, really?
I didn't know that.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. I don't think I would have guessed that either.
Me either.
Anytime he has a solo book, I snap it up. It always feels like a breath of fresh air because it always feels like
Yeah.
whenever he's breaking out, it's because the X-Men are doing something like, oh no, we have to kill half of our babies in Babicide crossover event, and Kurt Wagner's like, I'm going to go be a pirate now
Yeah.
And I'm going to adopt all these babies
for
and
12 issues.
and save them.
Yeah.
I would. Who would you have thought Vargas's favorite X-Men was? Because I'm with you. I was just like Nightcrawler. Really, I would have said Cable.
You would have said Cable?
Yeah,
He does have a cool glowing eye.
he's the most like Moon Knighty, Frank Castle-y mutant that I could get to. Him or Beak?
Yeah, Beak.
Beak created by Grant Morrison, so
Yeah, I know. I was trying to think of some of those Grant Morrison
Glob,
characters. Glob Herman.
yeah, sure.
You gotta like
Dust.
Cuckoos.
Dust, yes, the Cuckoos. Oh, I guess we never mentioned.
I don't know if I've picked a favorite X-Men. That's really hard to.
That's almost impossible for me.
Yeah.
Were you guys ever kids? You never had a favorite X-Man?
Well,
Which character did you play in the arcade game?
Probably Wolverine.
You guys are so vanilla.
It says the guy wearing a Wolverine T-shirt.
Yeah, it's a Michigan Wolverine.
Also, Wolverine's in a polyamorous relationship. He's the least vanilla.
Yeah, but he's not blue.
Okay, fair enough. And he can't disappear at a moment's notice.
That's right.
I guess I'll just keep going. I also read Rare Flavors by I got to pull it up. I think it's by Ram V. It's out on Image.
Yeah, that artist is real. Philippe Andrade.
Yes, thank you. It is phenomenal. It's set in India, and it's basically this demon, this Indian demon has come to Earth to taste and to explore the rare cuisine of this land.
Yeah, it's like if Anthony Bourdain was a monster.
Yes, and it's kind of that's how they like pitch it. They're just like, if you love Anthony Bourdain and like food documentaries, this is kind of a twist on that. And
How did I miss this book? This sounds incredible.
It got greenlit for a second printing of issue number 1, and like the first issue, like he's trying to find like a person to help him document. So like a film person. He finds this like old. He finds this like kind of washed up filmmaker who's like looking to like get back into it. He approaches them, and they basically in the end he agrees to be the videographer for this series. But you find out that like, yes, they're going to these great places to taste these wonderful meals, but at the end of it, unbeknownst to the filmmaker Mo, the demon is like eating the cook at the end.
Sure, of course.
And so we're gonna find out either the food is so good that he doesn't want anyone else to have it after he eats it, or like he gains something from and like there.
Yeah, does he get like the knowledge and experience of the chef, and he's going to be like the underworld's greatest chef or something?
But at the same time, the demon's also being hunted by these demon hunters.
Okay, cool.
Who know that he's like back or something.
So sick.
And it is just incredible. Artwork is phenomenal.
He's a really big, imposing character.
He's like the kind of like he's like gigantic.
Yeah, he's like Kingpin or Shadow King. I really thought of for him.
And so the juxtaposition of like that with the filmographer who's very thin, and just like the places that they go is wild.
Is it in black and white?
No,
it's in color. Okay,
yeah, it's
beautiful. Did you get the ash can?
No,
The ash can's in black and white.
Oh, cool.
And is it Boom?
It is Boom. I'm sorry, I said Image.
I've never seen Boom do an ash can before.
Slap it. First Boom ash can.
When these popped up, I was like,
First Boom can.
One, if I get every Rom V first issue, especially like creator-owned independent stuff. So I grabbed a couple copies of the ash can, and it was cool. That's all I've read so far. And I think it was just a unfinished, uncolored, like half of the book. Yeah.
It's stunning, and it's a really engrossing read, and like the twists and turns that are going to come from this book are going to be just so enjoyable. Because Ram V also did Layla Starr,
Yep.
which is kind of in the same realm of just like
Was
gods
this
coming
the exact
to Earth.
same creative team?
It might be, actually, now that you mention it.
I can't remember who did the art on that book, but it might be the same artist.
But I loved Layla Starr. I thought
Yeah.
it was incredible, and the things that they tackled through it, like the idea of a god being able to die, and I thought it was great. So I'm expecting that and much, much more from this book.
Right on.
Dope. What else do you read?
List continues.
This is going back to last week. I read Daredevil #1.
Let's go.
Saladin
Let's
Ahmed.
go.
Okay, that joke only makes sense if you watch the Patreon. So I'm so sorry that you all had to sit through that. We do about 45-minute bit about how the let go boy
Yeah.
voice on Whatnot has taken over.
Mhm.
Well, let's go.
Let's go. Saladin Ahmed and Aaron Cutter back on Daredevil not back on, but on Daredevil #1 after Chip Zdarsky left. It picks up right where Chip left off.
I love picking up a first issue and having it not be like, fuck all the stuff that just happened.
Nope. It did not do that.
Love that.
It is very much fuck, I've forgotten Daredevil's goddamn name.
Matt Murdock.
Matt Murdock, thank you. Matt Murdock is a priest now,
Yep.
like looking after some Rugrats with another priest, and Elektra is now Daredevil, doing the Daredevil thing.
Mhm.
But slowly but surely, like little blips are coming back to Matt about who he is, and at the end of it, he's like ripping off his priest garb
Yeah.
and like putting on his like red leather suit, and it's like just I'm so excited for where this is gonna go. And
Can I tell you guys where I want it to go
yeah,
and where I think it's gonna go?
Uh-huh.
I think this is gonna be Daredevil Exorcist.
how
Yeah.
so?
Well, because he doesn't want to leave the convent.
Yeah, he doesn't want to leave the church.
Not convent, church. Yeah.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to leave the church, parish.
Yeah,
And
because he's found peace.
Elektra has been funding the place.
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
And so it's a great way for him to protect kids and serve his purpose.
Right.
Well,
But
and she gets possessed by this demon.
And
yes.
he, and
oh
he,
my god, that thing was so cool.
and the
Yeah.
demon alludes to like, he's like, I'm one of the lazy ones.
Yeah.
Like,
so it's like the seven.
you just
sins.
wait because more are gonna come after. Oh, I didn't pick that up.
I think it might be the seven
be.
deadly sins.
So that one
Is
was
sloth.
sloth.
Could be.
I did not put that together.
But I
This
think
is, what if 7 was a Daredevil comic?
well,
Let's go.
Let's go.
What's in the box?
I really think this is gonna be like
Daredevil unboxing video.
he doesn't know what's in the box because he can't see
Let's
it.
go.
He-
That's all. Blind joke.
But no, I think this is gonna be like Daredevil fights crime,
yeah.
and most of these criminals or like criminal leaders are possessed by demons, and he has to use his newfound priestly
Mhm.
abilities. He unlocked the cleric skill tree.
Listen, I grew up Catholic. I wish I had the ability to see demons like that. I might still be Catholic. But
That's another reason I feel like I really like Nightcrawler and Daredevil
Mhm.
is just like having grown up
yeah,
Catholic.
I know the terminology, so
Yeah.
it's like not that much of a reach for me.
I identify.
I know what the white thing on the collar is, you know.
Same
Yeah.
with this is the reason I liked Wolfsbane from New Mutants
Right.
Yeah.
growing up.
I did
was
like.
I identify.
Have you read #1 yet for Daredevil?
Yes.
Okay, I did like how, Elektra and Matt finally have this meeting, and because he remembers, and Elektra's just like, "I want you to stay with me. Like, I want to be together."
She kind of assumes that like, oh, you got your memories back.
Yeah.
Like, of course you're gonna leave the church and like
Yeah.
And
we're,
we're
gonna,
gonna
be
go
back
bang it out
together
real quick.
again. And he's like, no, this all happened for a purpose. I have a higher calling at the church.
Yeah, she's like, "Okay, cool. like,
Yeah.
like, guess I'll go."
Yeah. Right.
So
That's why I think this is gonna stick around, and he's
yeah.
gonna
That
be
he's
fighting
gonna have
demons.
priest
Yeah.
duties.
Yeah.
And yeah,
It's gonna be dope.
I was. I almost wish there was, instead of being like he still has the red Daredevil costume, that it was still like
Daredevil
he
costume with a
still-
collar.
Yeah, he still has the
Hell
collar or
yeah.
something. Would have been so cool.
Devil
yeah.
horns with the collar.
Or if it was like a more stiff, starchy black costume.
First appearance, Father Daredevil.
Slap it. Deacon Daredevil.
Deacon Daredevil.
Deacon Daredevil is pretty cool.
I also read. Okay, so Coda came back
I haven't read that
from
yet.
Simon
I have
Spurrier
it,
and
yeah.
Matthias Berga. Okay, I love Coda. The first Coda Volume 1, dynamite. Coda Volume number 2, also dynamite. Picking up right where I left off.
But it's on Image,
It's on Image.
not Dynamite.
Yes, yeah.
That was the bit.
It is high fantasy to the extreme,
Yeah.
which is great. But if that's not your cup of tea, it's avoid at all costs, because
These
there's
are
a lot
very
of
wordy comics.
a lot
yeah.
of words, a lot of history,
A lot of stuff happens.
a lot of character back history and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Which, if you're into that, which I am, it is like maybe one of the best comics you will ever dip into.
I love the
Because-
first volume.
Because Cy Spurrier is just like, he cracks his knuckles and is just like, all right, let me write some shit. And
Yeah.
it's about to be baller.
Yep.
So it was good. It's amazing. Artwork didn't skip a beat. Story didn't skip a beat. If you loved Coda Volume 1, you're going to love Coda Volume 2.
Would you say if you had to read volume
Yep.
1? Yeah.
Yep. Sorry, folks.
I bought the
Steeped in the lore.
Very much
Virgin
so.
variant of the A cover just because I like the
Hell yeah.
art.
Yeah, it's like that very pink
Yep.
or that like very vibrant coral background.
Yeah.
It's a striking cover.
Yeah, I bought the version of that.
Yeah. That was an awesome book. I loved it. From volume 1, I loved there was like a Leviathan skeleton that like talked
Yeah.
and wanted the main character to like do something or like help him out in some way.
Wasn't there someone in a tub?
Yes, there was a mermaid
Yeah.
that was in a tub that kind of like had magic powers
Mhm.
and tricked him into bringing magic resources
Yes.
from her. Kind of the premise of the first volume was there was like the world had ran out of magic,
Mm-hmm.
but there was this like town on like wheels. There was like this moving town that was on the back of a monster.
Howl's Moving Town.
There was a town on the back of a monster,
Mm-hmm.
and it still had magic, and it was because they had
Because
kept
they believed.
like some sort of like mages or like fairies that like bled, like the stuff they bled like enabled you to do magic. And so they had these like fairies pinned up, hooked to IVs constantly, and they were just like basically like blood factories.
Draining them. Yeah.
Wild.
It is
And
very, very
so he's
cool.
like trying to like liberate those characters in this city and then bring those resources back to the mermaid to get what he wants. And then when he gets what he wants, it doesn't turn out to be everything he thought it was going to be.
Of course.
Hubris.
It's a really great story.
Yeah.
It's wild how big of an epic it is for like a 12 issue.
Yeah. It's dense. It's
maxi
very, very
series,
dense,
yeah.
which is like my cup of tea. Okay, the last book I read is kind of maybe one of the weirder books that I've read. It's called St. John, and it is in collaboration with Portland Gear. Now, Portland Gear is a clothing company,
Okay.
and so
They make tech gear.
Tech Gear.
You haven't seen like tech gear people?
No, it's like hooded sweatshirts
Oh, okay.
and shoes.
Yeah.
So it's streetwear.
Their drip is fresh.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
It is.
That's what I
just
was-
soaking.
That's what I was most
The
concerned
drip
with.
is soggy.
Yeah.
So it's about this superhero named Saint John, who is like just a citizen of Portland, essentially,
Uh-huh.
who like can't fly, doesn't have any superpowers, but is just like doing good.
Yeah.
So he's kick ass.
Kind of, yeah, but like this reporter is sent to essentially figure out who St. John is and like talk to him and yada yada yada. Whatever. The comic book is fine with a lowercase f. what is weird is all the clothes in the comic book are direct rips from Portland gear.
Of course.
Okay.
So it's the biggest
It's just a
catalog.
It's like a commercial for them.
Yeah, and it's just like, why did we do this
Yeah.
kind of thing? Like, it was just perplexing to me.
I think this brings up an interesting culture thing right now. Is that
Comics are hot.
sneaker culture made its way into card collecting, made its way into comic books.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's
everyone- Is everyone tracking with me on
They're
like
trying to
yeah,
diversify.
those sort of guys
Yeah.
that were just like, I'm gonna
Hype beasts.
get more assets this week, and you're like thinking about like sneakers and Jordans like
Yeah.
their investments, when you should just be putting your money in a stock
bank.
market instead of
Yeah.
buying $200
Yeah.
Jordans and selling them for
I'm
$300.
cash poor, but
But I have so many sneaker drops.
yeah.
And yeah, people go to those like thrift cons and they're like, I bought this Deftones shirt for like $500.
Yeah.
Like those sort of
Original
people
screen printing. It's just like, who gives a
who
shit?
were obsessed with clothes and resale market
Mhm.
became obsessed with sports cards and Pokemon type cards, and then like comics is like another part of that I feel like that culture is nudging into, and
Yeah.
I don't want it.
No.
I'm like, stay out. I don't like all the stuff I see on social media with those people. Just like feels gross. The idea of spending like $500 to $1,000 for an old band T-shirt that's like literally like Deftones era
Mhm.
is like ridiculous.
I think something else is coming to replace it because the pandemic really fueled that because
Yeah.
No one could go anywhere, so they could just spend money on eBay, yada yada. But you're right, comics is like the newest toe dip of these
Yeah.
people. Just like, I wonder if we could like make money, and it's not. So
I think I might have told you guys that I watched that Stan Sakai live stream on Whatnot when he was at the con, and there was a guy with him who was like a streetwear designer, and he was just like, man, I'm bringing my IP to comics now, and it's cool to do my IP alongside Usagi, and it's like his brand is elevating my brand and my brand is elevating his brand, and it's all about brand. And Stan Sakai is just sitting in the background just like, I'm here just smiling. If you want me to sign comics, I'll sign comics.
Protect
And-
Stan Sakai at all
at
costs.
all costs.
And these guys are just like, yo, our brands are like lit, and like if it's not expensive, it sucks.
Ugh.
Like those, they're having like those sorts of conversations, and it's like, I don't want that in comics.
No.
It's not going to be in comics. Don't worry.
We'll see. I don't feel optimistic about it.
Well, we can come back to this episode then.
I think those people are maybe going to find out that they can't make
Money.
that crazy amount of
Off of
money
comic
in
books.
alpha comic
Well,
books.
No.
they can, but you have to wait like 30 years.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
Comics are a long game.
And it can't be the people always forget it can't be manufactured in comic books.
Yeah.
Hype and
Yeah.
scarcity.
But here's the thing though. Kith just released a X-Men comic, and if you don't know, Kith is like a streetwear design company that's very like hype beast centric.
Okay,
And
I've got a comic book about a Gillette razor that turns into a transformer. I'm not kidding.
Slab it.
Like that shit has always been around. Like, look at the Mark Jewelers shit, right? Like,
Yeah.
it'll come and it'll go. It's
Yeah.
not going to become an integral part of the
Mm-hmm.
collecting market.
Yeah.
I mean, lenticular covers came and went.
You'll be fine. You don't need to.
Alright,
You don't
okay.
need to sweat it.
All right.
We've lived through this before, Mike.
That's-
And
yeah.
we'll live through it again.
As long as
Portland gear is not the first,
yeah.
nor will it be the last.
Yeah, as long as we keep writing good stories and like that sort of thing doesn't edge out.
Yeah.
I mean, we're already in a place where there's just like so many covers, and it's more about covers than it is about comics.
Yep.
And I just worry that that's going to get worse, and it's going to drive some of the talent away from some of the bigger things.
We will always, every year we will have a new Something is Killing the Children #1.
Yeah.
Where it's like, it's genuine hype that comic book people like, and it's a series that everybody likes.
Yep.
And rarely, if ever, will you have the Eminem cover of Spider-Man that outweighs the A cover. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it won't happen.
Says the only person in the room that owns that comic. It happens every 6 months, and I buy them.
Okay. Good. Slab it.
What a great note to end the show on. We're releasing this tonight as we're recording it, so we should mention one more time.
TowerCon in Kansas City. We will be there recording a live episode with our new friend Kyle Strom. He has agreed to come on the show. Sorry. We're going to talk to him about...
Do we know what time this is going to be?
So we will be there...
4:30 in the morning.
The con's from 10:30 to 4:30.
They made us stock the bar. They were like, you can record a podcast here, but you're going to have to...
You have to come in at close.
You're going to have to do work. Yeah.
In the evening. So the con is from 10:30 to 4. We're only going to be there recording for like an hour.
Okay.
So we will be there. Either recording an episode or buying comic books.
And I don't think... I'm talking through this now just for my own benefit. We're not going to have like chairs in front of us.
No.
We're more there as like a fun novelty.
Yes.
Of just like, hey, we're recording live there.
Yeah. Hey, what are those people doing in the corner kind of thing?
If you're a First Issue Club fan and live in Kansas City, come say hey to us.
Yeah.
And it'll be fun, and maybe we'll be recording something. Chill with us while we're recording.
Yeah.
But it's not going to be like we're setting up a show and
no, we're gonna be like in a booth.
There's gonna be like seating. Yeah,
we're there. It'll be a show.
It'll be a show. It'll be a spectacle.
It'll be a beefcake parade.
I guess there's only one way to find out what it is, and that's to do it.
Yeah. Come to Tower Tavern,
and then we'll let you know what it was.
Saturday, September 20th. Saturday, September 23rd.
If you'd like to see it unfold in person, come join us at Tower Tavern.
It'll be a good time.
And I recommend the veggie pizza.
We usually get some food while we're there. It's a good time all around. What else? We're on social media. Any social media you have, we're on there. Patreon.com/FirstIssueClub. I can't think of anything else, so Mike, take it away.
Goodbye. First Issue Club is edited and produced by Mike DeStacy, Greg Lichtag, and Andy Vargas. Follow us on social media at First Issue Club, and check out our Patreon for videos, audio, and more at patreon.com/FirstIssueClub.